the relationship triangle. We're gonna go deeper into this in a second, but first I want to talk about this myth about marriage, or more like how men look at marriage, how men look at the whole concept of marriage. It's typically two parties, right? Husband and wife. That's what the marriage consists of in the eyes of a husband. Okay. Now, I want to invite you to look at a different approach. And this different approach alone has saved thousands of marriages, alone has helped men understand the difference between masculine and feminine, and alone has gotten rid of arguments in marriages by the hundreds. Okay. It's a really critical topic. It's a really critical concept that you need to understand, and it's very foundational to what we do. Okay. So instead of looking at you and her as the marriage, I want to introduce the relationship triangle, which is you, her, and the relationship, or you, her, and the relationship. Okay? Look at it as a triangle where the relationship is its own entity. And there are things that you do for the relationship in service of it, and there are things that she does for the relationship in service of it. You lead the family and the relationship. She manages the relationship. Okay? She directs where the relationship is going. So when we talked about in previous videos this concept of management of the relationship, this should really drive it home, because it'll give you an understanding, a picturesque understanding of what actually it is, and what actually, why it's so important, right? So when you take out relationship from between, where it's, when you see that the relationship is not you and her, it's you, her, and the relationship as a separate entity, and there are things that you do for the relationship and she does things for that relationship, then the roles of the feminine and masculine start to become very, very clear. Or at least the idea that the roles are not the same, right? Because one of the battles we get into when we're looking at our marriage is, well, I'm doing all of this, why isn't she doing all of that? Well, maybe she shouldn't be. Or she's doing all of this, why aren't you doing all of that? Well, maybe you shouldn't be, right? So once you separate the roles from the masculine and feminine, and then you each serve the relationship, it gives you clarity and awareness how to move forward, how to look at it, how to associate to it. John, anything you want to add?
No, just to highlight again, like the responsibility around, yeah, the third entity being the relationship, and the part that you can fully control and you can fully own as the man is what you feed into that third entity, right? What you feed into that the relationship. It's not about what she's feeding in. It's about you putting your time and energy and your resource into, hey, what am I contributing? Right? No different to you can relate to it also like parenting. You're the father figure, your kid's mom is the mother figure. You will never be the mom and she will never be the dad. But in order to be in a great co-parenting relationship, you got to look at, okay, what am I bringing as a father to that relationship? What am I bringing? What of my investment of me am I giving into my child's future? Related back to the relationship. Hey, who am I as a husband? What am I investing for the benefit of that relationship?
And wouldn't it be awesome and so much less stressful if you're in the marriage and you actually start to understand the dynamics? Like even just with the small concept, the relationship triangle, right? What would it look like if you actually know what your role is as a husband that serves the relationship, which she manages? She's really good at managing that and has the intuition around that. So what would that look like if you actually understood that? Wouldn't you feel more relieved, more at ease, more confident in actually knowing, okay, I know what my next step is. I know what I need to do here. I now understand that there's this relationship triangle. Now I got to learn, what do I need to do as a husband to serve the relationship? What are the actions I need to take? Because I know that's going to benefit not only the relationship, but my wife who manages the relationship. And then when you see your wife doing X, Y, Z for the relationship, her actions, you now start to understand. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm not taking it personally what she's doing anymore. I get it. She's doing it in service of the relationship. What is she trying to communicate from that place? So it's pretty cool. So make sure you watch this video again, and make sure you get very clear of this concept, because it's a driving force for you to go towards healthy masculinity in relationship, and for your wife to really find her healthy feminine place, which you'll lead her to.